Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Dan, for the fifth time.
How are you?
Good.
Awesome.
We lasted about that long in our previous tries, and the audio was broken.
We greeted each other like 5 times already.
And we haven't seen each other in a while because I've been gone.
You've been gone. You were in San Diego, and you were in Spain, and you were all over the place.
Yeah, and before that, you were all over the place. And so we missed each other. We got some episodes in passing, but...
Yeah.
We missed each other a lot.
The last big place that I went was Frontier Days. It's in Cheyenne, Wyoming. It is the largest outdoor rodeo in the world.
I'm interested to hear what your wife is from Cheyenne, right?
She is kind of from all over, but she did junior high and high school in Cheyenne, so that's where she considers her home to be.
Yeah.
And we went back. We haven't been to Frontier Days in like 20 years.
Okay. Is it different?
It's the same.
Okay.
Yeah. It's awesome. I actually love it. Watching the rodeo, I am now determined to put a rodeo into a Cosmere book. That will happen at some point.
I have never seen a rodeo.
Well.
You might be surprised by that since I'm from Nebraska.
I'm a little surprised by that, I will be honest.
Rodeos weren't really a thing.
Okay.
So I guess that's the transition from West to Midwest. Like, I'm sure they existed, but I never really heard of one. I would be hard-pressed to have named a time where I heard about a rodeo and didn't think, oh, that's from, another place.
I know that they have rodeos in Nebraska because they do a big parade at Frontier Days, and Miss Rodeo everywhere trotted by on their horses. And there was a Miss Rodeo Nebraska.
Was there a Miss Rodeo Utah?
There was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's rodeos in Utah. Again, I probably could guess that, but I haven't really heard of it.
Well, I'll take you to one sometime.
Is that a threat? Are you threatening me?
Here's the thing. When we were there, I wanted to get a T-shirt, and my wife picked out this one for me. It is Bigfoot as a cowboy.
Okay.
And
feels
she
like
said,
a good match.
This is a good Dan shirt. And so I thought to myself, I need to get Brandon a rodeo T-shirt.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to give it to you, and you have to put it on. You can put it on under your coat or over your coat or however you want to wear it. But it's awesome. And just to make up for the fact that I'm making you wear a T-shirt, I also got you a little Grow a Sasquatch to cheer you up.
So you put this in the cup of water and you have a giant Sasquatch?
Yep.
Do not swallow.
Yeah, it's not a pill.
Yes, do not swallow that Sasquatch. Okay, Grow a Sasquatch. Oh, dear. Dan, this does not look like it's appropriate.
It is appropriate.
Is appropriate?
It is. Yep. For those not benefiting from the video feed, it has an adorable cowgirl sitting on a fence. And the words say, I do a thing called What I Want, which just felt very Brandon to me.
Dan.
Now you have something to wear when I take you to a rodeo.
How does this feel Brandon to you?
Don't you do what you want?
Yeah, what makes you think that you're like, what I'm going to get is Brandon the scantily clad cowgirl T-shirt.
She's wearing more than a lot of the other cowgirl T-shirts.
Oh, where is she? Okay.
Yeah.
She's not wearing more than the Bigfoot.
No, she is not.
Yeah.
But they have the same hat.
I'm not going to change on air, Dan.
In our next episode, Brandon will be wearing a cowgirl T-shirt.
In our next episode, I'll wear the cowgirl T-shirt. All right.
And there may be a giant Sasquatch.
In our next episode... The next episode, that's right. This is the super serious one. The next one, yes.
The next one will be the jokey one.
Yes, this is very serious film criticism.
We need to address an important topic.
Very important topic. I primed people during the last episode with Emily
that
we were going to be doing this, so they all should have gone.
And you gave them homework.
I gave them homework. They all should have gone because, important films are coming out very frequently now, and it's hard to keep track. And so theoretically, they all went and watched Happy Gilmore 2.
Happy Gilmore 2. I want you to know, audience, that Brandon came up to me today at like lunchtime and said, hey, have you seen Happy Gilmore 2? And I said, no. Should I? And he said, Yeah, watch it this afternoon so we can talk about it on the podcast. So
this is primarily because Donald says we need to talk about pop culture more often because people like that rather than, apparently they like it when we talk about something rather than just sit here and ramble. And so this is what happened is sometimes I just want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I want to watch a movie, it's like 2 a.m., right? Because I'm done with my work for the day. I'm like, I want to watch a movie. And I happen to own a theater. That makes it very convenient for wanting to watch a movie.
It's right next to your office.
It is. And then I have to think, okay, I have to watch a movie that Emily won't feel like she missed out, that I watched it without her.
Is she not a Happy Gilmore fan?
So I went down the list of things that are out. I'm like, oh, Emily might want to see that. Emily might want to go see that. And then I thought of Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler is not an Emily thing.
Okay.
Emily is not, just doesn't mesh with her. And I thought, Happy Gilmore too. All right, I'm on. And so I watched it at like 2 a.m. And more, I wanted to have something to talk about, but I have thoughts.
Oh, you have thoughts?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Happy Gilmore is the great Adam Sandler film from his early era Adam Sandler.
I actually put Wedding Singer above Happy Gilmore, but those are absolutely the top two.
They are the top two. See, here's the thing. Wedding Singer is a real movie. So it doesn't count. I'd say it's right up to the line, but it's a real movie.
Okay.
And then you have the ones that aren't really real movies, right? That are Adam Sandler doing a shtick. And Wedding Singer is an outlier because it's not like Uncut Gems. It's not like Spanglish or something where it's like Adam Sandler's like, by the way, guys, I can actually act. I just usually do this other thing.
Yeah.
So like Happy Gilmore it's a worse movie than The Wedding Singer. But it's more of an Adam Sandler movie than The Wedding
Singer. And it's a legitimately great movie that I enjoy very much.
It's the great of these Adam Sandler movies, which kind of defy explanation because are they good movies? Are they bad movies? They're enjoyable.
They're enjoyable movies, and I think that makes them good.
Yes, because some of them are not. Some of them, during the later early period of the Adam Sandler's.
I have watched all of Little Nicky.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I was able to get through all of it.
Little Nicky is where you're like, this is not working anymore.
I enjoyed Waterboy.
Yeah.
That's like a distant third place.
Right. The Waterboy is, I think, the one that earned the most money.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah. And I would put Waterboy in, but what about Billy Madison?
Billy Madison is an enjoyable movie.
Billy Madison, so we went and watched that, my friends and I. They decided to do it as a midnight movie.
Okay.
When it was brand new in theaters at the Dollar Cinema. So it wasn't brand new, but it was Dollar Cinema. And they're like, come watch this at midnight. You might like it better. And there were advertisements for it. Like, why don't you come to the late showing of this? And my friends and I are like, yeah, that sounds like we'll go do that. And we loved Billy Madison, which is, the worst of them. The worst of the good ones, right?
Yeah.
It is just, the premise is the worst. Like, what if Adam Sandler went to grade school is not a good premise, right?
Well, it's not a high premise.
Yes.
I would argue that it's a good premise.
Okay.
Because he's able to do work with it.
He did. He made it work, but it also is like he is playing such a loser that it is uncomfortable how much of a loser he is at the beginning of that movie. Anyway, of the Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler movies, you agree that Happy Gilmore is the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Far and away. It also has my favorite pickup line of all time.
Oh, yeah?
Which is, my girlfriend drove off a cliff and died on impact.
It is very quotable. It is right in that era where we were in college, and these types of comedies appealed a great deal to us. And so Happy Gilmore 2 came out. What was I have no idea what you're going to say.
Yeah.
What did you think of Happy Gilmore 2?
And I don't know what you're going to say. I actually loved it.
I did too.
Yay! It was a genuinely good movie. It was smartly written.
Yeah.
They had more callbacks to the original movie than I expected, and I already expected a lot.
Yes.
They had more of modern golf in it than I was even aware of because I don't follow golf.
Yeah.
It was nonstop cameos.
I thought it would be terrible. And it was like better than average. And for this movie, that's like a 10 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 movie. It's a 6 out of 10 or maybe a 6.5. But I was expecting a 2. And that gulf made me really like it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to admire about it. First half is stronger than the second half. Would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely. It's also interesting that you point out every now and then Adam Sandler makes a movie where he's like, don't forget, I'm a real actor. And this kind of felt like that. He wasn't doing a shtick.
No.
You got a real sense of who he is as a sad guy whose family is kind of falling apart and he's lost his wife and all these things. Like, the dude can act when he wants to, and you saw more of that in this than I expected from a Happy Gilmore movie.
So this is why I wanted to talk about this, partially because this movie had no business being as good as it is. And again, remember, I'm giving it like a 6.5 out of 10, right? Like, let's not pretend it's high. It could be a 7.
First half is an 8.
First half's an 8 for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first half's an 8. It kind of falls apart in the back half because it is doing more shticky stuff.
Yeah.
But even then, he stays very grounded the whole time.
He
I
does.
think, as a character.
And I enjoyed seeing Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment.
Is Osment? Did I pronounce
Osment?
Osment.
Joel Osment.
I enjoyed seeing him again. He was really good in it.
He has such an interesting kind of second career as an adult playing venal whiners.
Yeah.
And I love every time he shows up in a role.
But I also wanted to ask, like, there's a greater conversation to have here, which is Happy Gilmore is the same sort of concept as the new Indiana Jones and as Han Solo from Star Wars, the new ones, and like lesser extent Top Gun Maverick and all of these.
We've talked about this before, that these kind of legacy remakes are almost always about the original hero is a washed up loser now.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch them try to get their life back together.
Why did I love it in this film and make the first half work so much when I hate it in several other films? Why does it work in Happy Gilmore 2?
I think a big part of it is that even though you see him as washed up and sad, he also is a much more complete person than he ever was in the first one. He has a family that he loves and that loves him.
Right.
And that right off the bat shows, even though he's in a bad place right now, he's clearly gotten himself together.
Right.
And
I think that was a big part of it for me. It's like, Indiana Jones is washed up and lonely. Han Solo is washed up and lonely and gone back to his old things. Happy Gilmore has a loving family who deeply cares for him, and he has hit on very hard times. And yet having the family, he's a good dad, right? Like, he washed up as a golfer, so he went and got a job. Is he doing a good job at that job? No, he's Happy Gilmore. He's bad at this stuff, but he's trying.
Yeah.
And that earns him so much. He didn't go Han Solo and just go off, and ignore his family.
And seeing the way Happy Gilmore landed this, kind of articulated in a way that I wasn't able to previously, why those other legacy remakes felt so off to me.
Right. And Maverick is good. Maverick works.
Yeah, Maverick works.
But a lot of these other ones.
But what they're doing in a lot of those movies is they're saying, here's Indiana Jones. He's exactly the same as the previous one, and we are going to use this movie to critique him.
Yeah.
And that feels mean when it's a Harrison Ford character.
Yeah.
That it doesn't feel mean when it's Maverick, because Maverick was always troublesome and
exactly
unstable.
In the context of like Maverick as a character, you get to him and he hasn't made progress since before, and you're like, I believe that about you.
Yeah.
Right? Like
it makes sense for the character.
You're not going to get promoted to Admiral. You're going to get stuck in Fancy Test Pilot past your prime when you should be Fancy Test Pilot. And with Happy Gilmore, one big help, and I was annoyed by it when it happened. I'm like, oh, he's still married. Oh, that's good. And then they fridged the wife.
They fridged the wife instantly.
And that was a big trouble point to me. But then it works because it is an inciting incident that explains why he's gone off the rails. And it gives him that. And they make use of her as a character through the whole thing.
She still shows up in dream sequences and memories and things. They weren't getting rid of her just so they could do a second romance arc.
Exactly.
Going back to some of the other ones we're talking about, Han Solo, his character in the sequel movies wasn't reverted to Return of a Jedi.
Right.
It was reverted to Star Wars.
Exactly.
And so they're specifically undoing progress we've seen the character have. And with Happy Gilmore, they did the opposite thing, which is he has progressed. He's become a better person.
Yeah.
His wife, who he had a wonderful relationship with, has helped him grow. His children have helped him grow. And that was really nice.
I was also, so that's the big premise of this episode. Take that one. Like Hollywood, sometimes these things can work. Happy Gilmore shouldn't do it better than Star Wars did. It shouldn't. It shouldn't do it better than Indiana Jones did.
And yet it absolutely
did.
Yeah.
And I would agree that first half, I don't know if I'd call it an 8, but you're in 7.5 territory for a little while in there. The jokes where everything is a whiskey flask for him was so good. Like
it was.
I was legitimately smiling and out loud laughing alone in my theater every time something turned out to be a flask. It's a great visual gag.
Yeah. And it was classic Sandler in that it was funny, and then they dragged it on too long and it wasn't funny anymore.
Yeah.
And then they just kept doing it and it got hilarious.
Yeah.
I will not say what some of them were because you need to discover them for yourselves.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful running gag.
It was very funny. I think the weakest things is that they tried. I thought there was too much of looking backward. And then the last action sequence with the golfing just didn't have the emotion and weight that in the first one with him having to learn to putt did.
Yeah.
But I don't think we needed to go back and like have Chubbs's son and some of these things that just it felt like it was doing too much of that.
They did some of the callbacks really cleverly.
Yes.
For example, his caddy in the first movie that he bullies around and beats up. They cast a real Pro Tour golfer as the grown-up version of him. Playing himself.
And that was brilliant.
Which was so smart. And then having Chubb's son didn't really work.
He didn't have really a part in it. It's like, why are we doing this? But Eminem was great.
Oh, Eminem was hilarious. And I didn't even recognize him at the time. I had to go through the credits and figure out, wait, I know Eminem's in this. Which part was he?
And it was... Eminem has a great, and it's a callback. The best of them, in my opinion, is how he and Shooter get in a fight on Bob Barker's grave.
Oh, the whole fight in the graveyard of every important person from the first movie was delightful.
Like, everyone was saying he needs to fight Drew Carey. That would have been great. This is somehow more clever to not just, he fought Bob Barker and how to get in a fight on his grave. It was pretty good.
Yeah, constantly stumbling around the grandma's grave, the wife's grave, Chubbs' grave.
And even the Hey Mista person and things like that. So that was fun. The other big selling point of this movie is something you brought up earlier. The respect it has for golf.
Yeah.
It would have been very easy to make fun of golf it's an Adam Sandler movie. In a lot of ways, like it could have been very silly, and they took it the other direction. They recognized, you know what? A lot of golfers today probably grew up loving Happy Gilmore. Instead of making them the joke, we'll make some of the individuals jokes, like the guy that was the caddy is pretty funny. There's another guy that I didn't know, but he'd been arrested. And so he gets arrested in this, and he's a pro golfer. But the idea that Happy represents traditional golf against the new golfers, rather than Happy being, because he was the disruptor in the first one, and you could have done that again. It's time to disrupt golf again.
Yeah.
Instead, he has a history with these people, inserting him into history where he has been a pro golfer. All the pro golfers know him. They're all friends. And he actually found a community with them is another reason why this works and others don't.
Yeah.
He feels like a retired golfer who hit a bad point, but is beloved by all of his colleagues, and he has friends, and he shows up back there and they welcome him in. It felt real. It felt like they made him work.
Yeah. Well, and it's so impressive that they were able to show character growth, show all of this, the same golfers who mocked him in the first movie are now his buddies.
Yep.
They were able to do that while also still giving him a meaningful arc to go through. Yep. And I think that's why a lot of these other legacy sequels revert the characters, is because they don't know what to do to give them an interesting new story. And so they just give them the same story again.
Yeah.
Except this time we're going to make fun of you for being washed up and old. I do think, like, the whole Act 3, which is the new extreme golf.
Yep.
Where I enjoyed a lot of the visual jokes with it. They present it as American Gladiators.
Yeah.
They do a lot of really goofy greens and all this stuff. But it wasn't about his journey.
Yep. See, and this is the problem. I actually have a revision for them.
Oh, okay.
I have a revision. So I really like what they did with Shooter in this movie. I thought he was funny.
Yeah.
I thought he was interesting. When he was reading The Shining as his introduction and giggling as if it were a comedy is a perfect introduction to who Shooter has become. Yeah. Right? But even Shooter sees the new golf and is like, no, I can't do this. The arc, I think, that might have worked is work in some way that Happy gives up the chance to do the final shot to Shooter. Right? Because they invite Shooter onto the team. Yeah. Right, things like that. But if it were some way you could work out where Happy realizes he doesn't, he's kind of, this isn't all he needs is the money, so he can buy the house back or whatever and things like that. He's back on the horse, giving Shooter a chance to be the person who wins and gets his jacket. Would have been a nice bookend if it's like, this is for the jacket, Shooter. You've got the and. I would have had it be that Shooter spent his entire time in prison practicing putting. With putt-putt golf.
Because he couldn't go outside.
Because he couldn't go outside, and he lost to an incredible shot that Happy Gilmore learned from the putt-putt golf course. And you flip that on its head. The end, it's a really crazy thing, but that's what Shooter's been practicing for. And you let your main character step aside and be like, I don't have to win this. Shooter can win this. Yeah. I don't know. You'd have to do some more revisions to make their arc work, but they need an arc for the second half. And they don't have any emotional parts to that.
That's a big problem with this. Stories typically, I won't say every story, stories will typically have a plot conflict ongoing and an emotional conflict ongoing. Right. We need to destroy the Death Star, but also Luke needs to become a heroic person.
Yeah. He needs to learn to trust the Force.
He needs to learn to trust the Force. And those happen right at the same time. And the closer you can get him, the better it works. This pays off his I'm a good golfer again by the end of the second act. It does give Shooter that moment of you're a good golfer again, but it's like half an hour before the movie ends.
Right, and Shooter doesn't have any reason to still be a good golfer.
Yeah.
Happy's come back and has been practicing, and this structure of film actually has this problem a lot because it's a really great structure. It's the, get the person out of retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And usually what they do is they build a personal stake between the main character and a villain. So they come out of retirement to defeat the villain.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to do this with that, but Happy's already beaten that guy. He dumped him in a tank full of lobsters.
Yeah.
Like he has nothing
the second scene of the movie
to prove to this guy. So there's not a personal stake. He's saving golf. That's good. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just something missing there.
The fact that golf needed saving is one of the shakiest aspects
it
of
is,
this. Like, the rise of extreme golf is not going to de facto kill regular golf.
But they did make it work by giving the extreme golfers some physical abnormality that makes them...
Yeah, they're all surgically enhanced. Yeah, but the movie, I think the big problem with Act 3 is that it has already paid off most of its emotional stuff. And then, like, the big climax is just this goofy balancing act on a green that wiggles.
Right.
And that means nothing to the story. It means nothing to the characters.
Right.
And yet they spent 10 minutes on it.
And you compare that to the first movie, and part of why the first movie is great is there's a thing that Happy has refused to learn. He's not all in on golf. Through the first movie, he is a hockey player who can happen to hit a golf ball hard.
Yeah.
And at the end, there's where he goes and learns to putt. The point is Happy has all in on being a golfer now. He's not a hockey player playing golf. He's a golfer. And I don't know. I really wish that the payoff had been, there's a moment where he's in the dream sequence with his wife. And she says, you're not I can't remember what she says. You're not a hockey player.
Yeah, you're a golfer.
She starts with G and it cuts off.
She starts with G and the dream ends.
And I wanted the ending to be her saying, you're not a golfer, you're a great dad. And the choice he makes at the end, right, to be like, if he makes the choice that is being a great dad, and I don't know how you work this in, right? It could just be he knows Shooter has a better chance of winning, and the great dad thing to do is to let Shooter win.
Yeah,
you'd have to, but
I have to assume that because you bring it up very trenchantly, I think there was a draft of this movie where you're a
was relevant,
was gonna turn into something, and we'd see it paid off a couple more times.
I think though that might just be a reference to the first movie. I'd have to watch again. I think that's just referencing you're not a hockey player, you're a golfer.
Yeah,
which is the arc he had in the first film. So. Not quite, but I think you could have done something with that.
But with him thinking she was going to say golf and asking her in a second dream, you were going to say golfer, right? And she's going to say, no, you're a great dad.
Yeah.
And that's when he realizes, oh, actually, you know what? I need to go be with my kids. Shooter, you make this last shot for me.
Yeah,
like that all could have worked.
Yeah.
But oh well.
I mean, we're critiquing a movie that should have been a 2, right?
Yes.
I come back to the point that, the first one is, for what it is it's not a 10, but it's hard to think how Happy Gilmore would be improved without making it a different film.
It's so perfect as what it is. That
it's at least a 9, though it's weird to say that because a lot of the other things that are 9s and 10s are of a different genre of film.
Yeah, well, and it's important to point out that quality is independent of genre.
It is.
You can have a 9 out of 10 ridiculous golfing hockey guy movie.
Yes.
And Happy Gilmore is.
Right. And so Happy Gilmore is. Having this one even be a 6.5 for me. What would you give it? You said the first half's an 8 for you.
First half's an 8. The second half falls apart a little, mostly because that third act.
Yeah. But still like a 7 or a 7.5 for you?
I'd say the end of it is a 6 because there's still plenty of good jokes in it, and lots of good payoffs.
Yeah.
And so I guess that averages out the full movie to a 7.
So it's hard to critique the fact that somehow making for Netflix a film that should not have been good, they made a good film. And that's why I want to talk about this, because I'm sure we'll have things to say about Superman. I'm sure, because I will watch Superman, and we will talk about that, because you have seen it.
I have seen it.
So that'll be my homework, because I got to watch Superman for next time. But so fair warning, we will talk about Superman, not next week, because we're recording next week. In 5 minutes. But for the next recording session, I'll watch Superman. But I felt like there actually might be more interesting things to talk about with Happy Gilmore.
Well, I do want to shout out his daughters.
Yeah.
His 2 daughters are characters in this movie.
And his wife.
And his wife is in it as well.
Though hers is just more of a bit part.
Yeah. And they all do a great job.
Yeah.
I didn't at first understand, because his 2 daughters look so much alike that I was like, why is his daughter in this AA meeting? And then realized, oh, it's his other daughter. I understand now.
Okay. I didn't get that mistaken, but when I saw her, I'm like, okay, you're his daughter. That's the only reason this character is getting highlighted as much. But it worked in a way, because this is a movie about the older professional still being a good dad. Bringing your family along to make your film with you, probably a good idea.
Well, and the one that was in the AA meeting, their final scene together is them sitting on a bench and her saying, "You're a good guy. You remind me of my dad." And he's like, "I'm glad." And that was a really sweet moment for a father and a daughter to have in a movie together. That was cool. I also want to shout out my favorite cameos of The Thing are when he and when I said at the beginning that there's a million cameos in this, there are so many. Anytime somebody makes a comment that doesn't seem entirely natural, look up the actor and go, oh, that's why. But the first time he goes golfing in 10 years, when he still sucks and he's still trying to hide his identity, he gets put into a foursome with Martin Herlihy, who's a writer for SNL, with Margaret Qualley, who is the it girl right now and is hilarious and a very good actor, and then Eric Andre.
Yep.
And they were all so funny. Qualley in particular, but they all, I don't know, they were great together. They were great foils for grumpy Happy Gilmore. I just loved that whole sequence.
It was fun that Happy Gilmore was the Happy Gilmore hit was a thing in their world, because it totally would be.
Yeah.
Now I will also give props to the cameos of having the actual sportscasters, and having then Post Malone be the extreme sportscaster joining them.
Yeah.
And I won't repeat it here, because we don't curse on this podcast, but there's a nice line that Post Malone says that they get the old prestigious sportscaster to say that just cracked me up. So nice work on that little cameo thing there.
Good, and they had so many sportscasters on.
Yeah,
they had influencers and podcasters on. The whole thing just felt like, let's celebrate all these real people. Like Happy Gilmore and his kids were almost the only fictional people in the movie.
Yeah, and his kids, you could argue, are there as kind of not cameos, but his wife and kids, like it's yeah. I
did love his sons. I did love looking up so many of the people in this movie to say, they look vaguely familiar, but I can't think of what they've been in before, and finding out they're all wrestlers. There are so many WWE stars in this movie. I also liked that I would say 3 out of his 4 sons look like the mother instead of like Adam Sandler. And that was just a nice, subtle touch rather than having them all be Sandler clones. It was fun.
They did act like Sandler.
Yeah.
But that's okay. The daughter acted less like Sandler.
Yeah.
But he didn't act like Sandler in this. So it's good that his sons were there to let us remember how Happy Gilmore used to be.
Yeah. How's that, Ben?